This is Flare Engine. Welcome. In this tutorial, we're going to add an attack state to the enemy bot. We can add this to the existing enemy bot, but I will simply create another enemy AI by duplicating it and disabling the old one. This way, I can keep the tutorial a bit more focused. We are going to add 4 new sprites: attack, chase, shake, and sliding. Now we create the animation signals. Since they don't exist in the engine, we are in charge of telling the engine to set them, and we will do this in the AI finite state machine. Let's not forget to enable the signals. We now set up the animation state. And make sure your sprite state machine looks more or less like this one. We go into AI finite state machine and delete the previous states and territory. We'll start from scratch. For the first part, we'll create a follow state again. Add a follow target. We'll set target to player, axis to X, and speed to 2. We'll then create the chase state. We add another follow target and set similar settings. Except we'll set the speed much higher this time, to 8. We go back into follow target and set stop distance to 16 and enable the toggle. For this particular node, when we enable the toggle, we are telling the node that we want to return success when the target is within 16 units of the AI. This way, we can use the onSuccess jump to state. Now, the AI will walk towards the player, and when the player is within 16 units, the AI will jump into the chase state and will start running towards the player. We'll go into play mode and see this in action. If you noticed, the AI kept the same animation while walking and running towards the player. Let's fix this now, and use the signals we created to set the correct sprite animation. Every state has a default animation signal that can be enabled and used. Press the fold out button in the state bar and enable the signal, rename it to chase. You can also set an animation signal with the animation signal node. We go back into play mode, and now the AI should transition from a walking animation to a chasing animation. Okay, great. It worked. Now we exit play mode. Next, we finally add the attack state. We add this state, name it, and enable the default animation to attack. We will use the jump to node to accomplish our attack. This node will make the AI jump towards the target. The arc height is basically the jump height. Distance x will determine how far we should jump, and we'll leave scale distance x as 1. We go into the chase state. We set stop distance to 3.5 and enable the toggle. When the AI is within this distance, it should jump into the attack state. Okay, let's see this in play mode. We see that the AI is jumping towards the target, but in this scenario, we want the attack to only last for one jump. So after we jump to the player, we'll go into the slide state immediately after. This will give the player a chance to regain composure. We add the slide state, name it, and enable the default animation to slide. In the attack state, the jump to node will return success once it has completed a jump. When this happens, we'll jump to the slide state. Next, we add the slide node. We change to the following settings. We add a clock. After 3 seconds, we jump to the standing state. So let's create the stand state. And from the slide state, we make sure we jump to the stand state. In the stand state, we add another clock. After 1 second, the AI will return to the follow state. Okay, we're almost there. If you noticed, the AI is attacking the player every frame. Let's give the player some recovery time. We go into the health component and give the player a recovery time of 1 second. During this time period, the player will not take any damage. Let's go into play mode and see the changes. And just for fun, we'll add a crouch ability to the player. Pressing down will trigger a crouch, and we resize the height to 0.5. We then add a crouch sprite, enable the signal, and set its animation state. We then go into the enemy bot and add one last state to give it some personality. After the stand state, the bot will shake its head for half a second. We create this state, set the default animation to shake, and add another clock. Now from the stand state, we jump into the shake state, and from there, we jump into the follow state. We duplicate the enemy bot, so now we have 2 bots our player has to worry about. We change some of the speed settings on one of them so the bots don't overlap. Now we go into play mode. Okay, that's it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.